Queen Camilla.
How was she dangerous?
Queen Camilla.
Queen Camilla.
Social media erupted overnight. Carole Middleton's shocking statement spread like wildfire. Headlines, tweets, and TikTok clips flooded every feed. Millions watched. Everyone wondered, what did she say? Reactions came fast. Royal experts called it a bombshell. Some praised Carole for speaking out. Others slammed her for breaking royal codes. The palace, silent. Camilla, nowhere to be seen. But the tension didn't stop. Public opinion split. Was this a family feud or something bigger? But how did we reach this breaking point between Carole Middleton and Queen Camilla? Let's rewind the clock. The feud between Carole Middleton and Queen Camilla didn't start overnight. It began years ago, quiet, cold, and far from the public eye. When Kate Middleton entered the royal spotlight, two powerful women, Carole and Camilla, were on a collision course. Their relationship was tense from the start. At royal events, they smiled for the cameras, but insiders noticed the coldness. The real divide? Class. Camilla, born into aristocratic privilege, believed royal life had unspoken rules. Rules Carole, a self-made woman from a middle-class background, would never understand. Whispers spread quickly through royal circles. Carole was too involved, too common, and too close to Kate. Camilla, according to insiders, felt that Carole's presence blurred the line between family and royalty. Carole, on the other hand, saw things differently. She wasn't just Kate's mother, she was her strongest support. The tension sharpened during William and Kate's engagement. Camilla, it's rumored, questioned Kate's suitability behind closed doors, comments that reached Carole's ears. Kate came from a middle-class background, with self-made wealth, a source of pride for Carole, but a target for Camilla's subtle jabs. Carole's protective nature only made things worse. She stayed close to Kate, offering guidance as her daughter faced intense royal pressure. Camilla, however, viewed Carole's involvement as interference. To Camilla, Carole was overstepping, acting more like a royal advisor than a mother-in-law. Then came the wedding planning, a key flashpoint. Carole wanted Kate's day to feel personal and modern, while Camilla pushed for strict royal traditions. When Carole's suggestions were reportedly brushed aside, she felt dismissed, another sign that her place in Kate's new world was being minimized. But the real tension wasn't just about titles or traditions, it was about influence. Carole wanted to ensure her daughter thrived, but Camilla believed royal life demanded separation from the past. The air between them grew colder. Polite on the surface, but beneath it, a power struggle was brewing. Carole stayed silent publicly, but privately the lines had been drawn. The battle for respect and relevance had begun, and it was far from over. But these were just the first cracks. Soon, the tensions would become impossible to hide. The tension between Carole Middleton and Queen Camilla reached new heights when Prince George and Princess Charlotte entered the picture. What started as subtle clashes quickly turned into an all-out power struggle. One fought not with words, but with influence. Carole, a hands-on grandmother, wanted to be deeply involved in George and Charlotte's upbringing. She believed in warmth, modern parenting, and keeping their lives as grounded as possible. Camilla, on the other hand, pushed for tradition. To her, royal children were not just family, they were the monarchy's future, and their upbringing should reflect centuries of royal protocol. The friction started early. Carole spent significant time with the children at the Middleton family home in Bucklebury, which reportedly irritated Camilla. Palace insiders claimed Camilla felt Carole was monopolizing the children's early years, shaping their values without royal input. Then came the christening of Prince George, a turning point. Carole, hoping for a small, intimate ceremony, clashed with Camilla, who believed royal events should follow grand public traditions. When William and Kate sided with Carole for a more private affair, it left Camilla feeling sidelined. The tension only grew as the children grew older. School choices became a battleground. Carole championed Thomas's Battersea, a modern, nurturing school, while Camilla pushed for a more traditional royal education. When the Cambridges chose Thomas's, many saw it as another victory for Carole's modern influence. But the biggest dispute came over the children's time. Camilla wanted more palace-centered traditions, weekends at Balmoral, royal engagements, and formal appearances. Carole, however, encouraged outdoor play, family gatherings, and a normal childhood. Her hands-on involvement, from bedtime stories to school drop-offs, became a source of quiet tension. Behind closed doors, sharp words were exchanged. Sources say Camilla, frustrated, hinted that Carole was overstepping and should know her place within royal circles. Carole, deeply protective, felt Camilla was trying to push her out of her grandchildren's lives. The media noticed the strain. Headlines contrasted Carole's close relationship with the children against Camilla's more distant approach. Public opinion, often siding with Carole's warmth and family-first values, only deepened the rift. Despite the growing tension, Carole refused to step back. To her, this wasn't about power, it was about family. But to Camilla, it felt like a challenge to the royal order. But the real showdown was yet to come, one that would change everything. It all came crashing down at a private family gathering, a night that would change everything. What started as a routine royal event quickly turned into an explosive confrontation. The tension, long buried beneath royal smiles, finally erupted. The trigger? A sharp remark from Camilla? Witnesses say it wasn't loud, but it was cutting. Camilla, in her usual composed tone, allegedly questioned Carole's place in the royal family. "It's best if certain matters are left to those who truly understand royal life," she said, her eyes cold. The implication was clear. Carole didn't belong. The room fell silent, but Carole's fury was instant. Years of cold stares, whispers, and subtle digs boiled over. Her hands clenched, her voice tight. "I know what truly matters," she shot back, her tone sharp with emotion. This wasn't just about her, it was about Kate, who had endured Camilla's coldness for years without a word. Carole's frustration flooded out. She reminded Camilla how Kate had proven herself time and time again, how she had carried the weight of royal duty with grace. And yet, behind closed doors, Camilla's disapproval never ceased. The tension between them had always simmered, but tonight, Carole had enough. Though brief, the confrontation sent shockwaves through the family. Royal aides were stunned, unsure how to defuse the moment. Camilla, visibly shaken but composed, simply turned away. But the damage was done. After the gathering, Carole's emotions raged. Anger, sadness, and a protective fire for her daughter. She had held back for years, choosing silence over scandal. But Camilla's words had crossed the line. This wasn't just about a clash of personalities. It was about respect, about family, and about the silent battles Kate had endured. That night, Carole made a decision. She would no longer stay in the shadows, allowing Camilla to control the narrative. She wouldn't start a war, but she would tell the truth. And then came the moment the world would hear Carole's side, loud and clear. When Carole Middleton broke her silence, the world stopped and listened. In a bold, tell-all revelation, she shattered the polished image of Queen Camilla, exposing years of hidden conflict and power struggles within the palace. Carole didn't hold back. She painted a picture of manipulation, cold calculations, and a woman determined to control everything behind the royal curtain. According to Carole, Camilla's behavior toward Kate had been anything but warm. Subtle digs, dismissive comments, and backdoor whispers aimed to undermine Kate's confidence and position within the family. But Carole's most shocking claim went deeper. She alleged that Camilla had used her influence to keep Carole away from royal matters, especially when it came to Prince George and Princess Charlotte. Carole described how decisions about the children's upbringing were made without Kate's input, all under Camilla's watchful eye. Then came the bombshell. Carole hinted at a pattern of behavior that extended beyond personal clashes. She suggested that Camilla's rise to Queen Consort hadn't been as graceful as it appeared. Whispers of backroom deals, strategic alliances, and a carefully plotted path to power left royal watchers stunned. The media exploded, headlines screamed with Carole's revelations, and social platforms lit up. News anchors debated the claims, while YouTubers dissected every word. Clips of Carole's statement flooded TikTok, with hashtags like Team Carole and Camilla Exposed trending worldwide. Royal experts jumped in, splitting opinions. Some called Carole brave for exposing palace politics. Others accused her of breaking royal decorum, warning that such exposure could shake the monarchy's foundation. Meanwhile, the palace remained silent, but the cracks were showing. Royal insiders leaked that Camilla was furious, calling the allegations baseless and damaging. But behind the scenes, chaos reigned. The carefully crafted image of a united royal family was crumbling under public scrutiny. The palace scrambled for control, but the damage was already done. The fallout from Carole Middleton's exposé was swift and chaotic. Inside the palace, panic set in. Meetings were called, advisors scrambled, and phones buzzed non-stop. The royal family, known for their never complain, never explain approach, was facing a full-blown crisis. The Queen consort, Camilla, was reportedly furious, demanding immediate damage control. King Charles, caught between loyalty to his wife and concern for the monarchy's image, urged calm. Meanwhile, William and Kate remained silent, but insiders said tensions within the family were boiling over. The public reaction was immediate and divided. Social media erupted, with Team Carole and Team Camilla trending across platforms. On TikTok and X, formerly Twitter, some hailed Carole as a hero for challenging palace politics. Others accused her of breaking royal tradition and stirring unnecessary scandal. Memes, reaction videos, and heated debates dominated timelines. News outlets covered every angle. Morning shows hosted royal experts who analyzed every word of Carole's statement. Talk shows debated the royal family's future, while headlines screamed of a royal rift. YouTubers posted deep dives, drawing millions of views. The public, captivated and divided, watched the monarchy unravel in real time. The palace's PR team rushed to control the narrative. Statements were drafted, but no official comment was released. Only the familiar line, "The royal family does not comment on personal matters." Behind closed doors, however, crisis managers fought to contain the damage. Media leaks were plugged, and palace-friendly journalists were briefed to shift the narrative. Stories emerged painting Camilla as a victim of unfair attacks, and attempts to discredit Carole began circulating quietly through tabloids. Despite their efforts, the damage was severe. Public trust in the royal family, already shaken by past controversies, dropped further. Polls showed younger generations siding with Carole, seeing her as a symbol of modern values against outdated royal elitism. Older generations, however, felt Carole had overstepped, viewing the monarchy as a sacred institution above personal feuds. The tension spread beyond the UK. International media picked up the story, and commentators worldwide questioned whether the monarchy, an institution built on tradition and discretion, could survive such public division. But this wasn't just about family drama, this was about the future of the monarchy itself. The feud between Carole Middleton and Queen Camilla was more than a personal clash, it was a battle of values. On one side stood Camilla, the embodiment of royal tradition and aristocratic privilege. On the other, Carole is a self-made woman, representing modernity, family-first values, and a break from the old-world elitism of the monarchy. This wasn't just a family dispute, it reflected the monarchy's greatest struggle, tradition versus modernity. Camilla symbolizes the old guard, the belief that royal life should remain exclusive, hierarchical, and bound by unspoken rules. She came from a world where bloodlines mattered and royal protocols were sacred. To her, Carole's close involvement with royal affairs felt intrusive and out of place. Carole, however, represented a changing Britain. She wasn't born into wealth, she built it. Her rise from humble beginnings to the royal inner circle resonated with millions who valued hard work and family over titles and status. Her hands-on, supportive approach to Kate and her grandchildren symbolized a modern, relatable motherhood, one that defied the cold detachment often seen in royal traditions. Royal experts weighed in, highlighting the deeper significance of their clash. Historian Sarah Holloway noted, "This is more than personal tension. It's about how the monarchy adapts, or fails to adapt, to a modern world that values openness, warmth, and inclusion." Generational shifts were also at play. Younger Britons, who largely favored Carole's modern, grounded approach, viewed her as a refreshing break from cold royal traditions. Polls showed a growing divide. Millennials and Gen Z leaned toward Carole's values, while older, more traditional royalists sided with Camilla's adherence to formality and structure. But this battle wasn't just about age, it was about change. For centuries, the monarchy survived by controlling its image and protecting its traditions. But in today's digital world, where personal stories spread faster than royal statements, the palace's old methods were crumbling. Royal commentator Daniel Wright stated, "The monarchy is facing a cultural crossroads. Do they double down on tradition or embrace modern values that reflect the public they serve?" Meanwhile, the monarchy's struggle extended beyond Carole and Camilla. The tension between duty and humanity had been building for years, from Princess Diana's rebellion against royal coldness to Meghan Markle's battles with royal expectations. Now, Carole and Camilla's clash was the latest front in this ongoing war between the past and the future. The question was no longer just about who was right or wrong, it was about whether the monarchy itself could survive without evolving. And with public trust on the line, everyone wanted to know what happens next. The dust from Carole Middleton's bombshell hadn't settled, but the aftershocks were already shaking the royal family. As the headlines continued and the public debate raged on, everyone wondered, what happens next? First, the spotlight turned to William and Kate. As future king and queen, their position had never been more delicate. Insiders say William was torn, loyal to his mother-in-law, yet painfully aware of the damage to the monarchy's image. Publicly, the couple remained silent, but royal experts believed their handling of this crisis would shape their future reign. If they distanced themselves from Carole, they risked alienating modern supporters. If they backed her, they risked widening the family rift. For Kate, the stakes were deeply personal. Carole's revelations came from a mother's protective heart, but they also brought public scrutiny Kate never sought. Yet some royal watchers believed this moment could redefine Kate's image, not just as a future queen, but as a daughter standing by her family's values. Meanwhile, Camilla faced a public reckoning. Already a controversial figure due to her past with Charles and Diana, this scandal reopened old wounds. Her reputation as a cold, calculating royal gained traction, and social media was ruthless. Memes, hashtags, and reaction videos flooded platforms, painting her as the villain in this royal drama. Polls showed a sharp dip in her favorability, especially among younger audiences. But some royal allies rushed to her defense, framing her as a victim of unfair attacks. Camilla, they argued, was simply upholding royal traditions in a family known for its formality and structure. The palace, too, worked behind the scenes to repair her image, releasing stories that highlighted her charity work and dedication to the crown. And what about Carole Middleton? Public opinion split sharply. To many, she was a hero, a mother standing her ground against royal elitism. Her boldness resonated with those who admired authenticity over royal secrecy. She became a symbol of modern family values, and her popularity surged among younger audiences who viewed her as real, relatable, and fearless. But to royal traditionalists, Carole crossed a line. They accused her of dragging private family matters into the public eye, tarnishing the monarchy's dignity. Some labeled her a meddler, too involved, too outspoken, too bold for the royal world. In the end, this wasn't just about Carole, Camilla, or even Kate and William. It was about the monarchy itself, an institution struggling to balance tradition with modernity. The scandal had exposed more than a family feud, it had revealed deep cracks in the royal facade. But the real question remains, can the monarchy survive this blow to its image? The battle between Carole Middleton and Queen Camilla was more than a clash of personalities, it was a collision of values. Carole stood up for her daughter, exposing what she believed was a cold and controlling force within the royal family. Camilla, representing the institution, stood firm on the side of tradition and royal order. But this war of words did more than dominate headlines, it shook the royal family to its core. Trust was fractured, alliances were tested, and the monarchy's carefully polished image cracked under public scrutiny. William and Kate found themselves walking a tightrope, balancing family loyalty with their duty to the crown. Meanwhile, Camilla's reputation took a hit, reigniting debates about her place in the royal story. The fallout will linger. The royal family, already bruised by past scandals, faces a new challenge: rebuilding trust in an age when every whisper becomes a headline. Can they repair their image while maintaining traditions that seem increasingly out of touch with modern values? And then there's Carole, hailed by some as a protector and by others as a disruptor. Her stand forced the public to confront a deeper question: does loyalty to family outweigh loyalty to the crown? But beyond the headlines, one truth remains. This isn't just about one family's fight. It's about an institution struggling to survive in a world that demands authenticity, transparency, and change. What do you think? Was Carole Middleton right to expose the truth, or should some battles stay behind palace doors? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more royal revelations.